I'm taking 8 of America's most iconic beer brands and putting them to the test to see which ones are truly gas and which ones, you should take a pass on. I'm gonna be ranking all these beers on a classic tier list, with S being the best and F being the worst. First up, we got, starting with the only beer on this list that isn't a lager, the Blue Moon Belgian-style wheat ale. The beautiful citrusy flavors that come through this beer and this can are iconic. And let's be real for a second. Every other beer on this list is, how do you say, ass. Blue Moon is the only American beer that I have on this list that I think is good. I mean, you can fight me in the comments on that, but a Blue Moon and some wings beats a Coors Light or a Bud Light any given day. Plus, you get beautiful orange flavor. But what would a drinking video be without a little bit of education? So, Blue Moon, what did I write down? Blue Moon was introduced in 1955 by Sandlot Brewery. Wow. It gained popularity through its smooth citrus flavor and signature orange slice garnish, which I unfortunately do not have today. And every beer will be drank in an American-style plastic beer cup. When I say American style, I don't know if you could see this since it's clear, but when I say American style, I mean American diner style, because this is what I think of when I think of diner cups. With the little history lesson out of the way, let's crack this baby open. Oh my god, it smells so good. And give it a proper pour, which, you know, there's many ways to pour a beer, and I know that one dude from Bar Rescue or whatever tells you to slam pour the beer so it doesn't fill your belly with bubbles, but that's dumb. I don't want a flat beer. The only flat beer I want to drink is a Guinness. Let's try the first American beer on our list, and definitely gonna be the best. Cheers. I love you. You could fix heartbreak. I'm not condoning drinking away your feelings, but that would fix a heartbreak. That, Blue Moon, iconic, classic. I personally love citrus, which is a theme in a lot of my videos, but if you add citrus to any of these beers, I feel like it would make it way better, but they just did it in-house. So, Blue Moon's gonna be the only S tier in this video. I hope you know that. So officially, we're gonna stamp Blue Moon at S tier. First S tier of the day, first beer of the day, probably gonna be the only one. But iconic, I love you. I wish I had an orange slice. Next up, we have the iconic Natty Lite. And by iconic, I kind of mean infamous. Because the only thing I can think of when I look at this beer and hear its name is terrible college memories. Shout out, should I even say the name of the school, or is that defamation? I'll bleep it. Shout out University, formerly known as College, where you gave me the worst 2 years of my life. Now look at me, baby. I'm drinking beers on YouTube. Now look, I don't buy Natty Lite. If anything, Natter Days, those are gas. The strawberry lemonade flavored beer, that's a good shandy. But Natty Lite, I'm not touching. Now, when I was looking in the liquor store for these beers, I was looking for this iconic can, which I guess they changed to this, which, in defense of Natty Lite before I rip them to shreds, I really do like this packaging and this new can design, because it gives it like a like an 80s nostalgia look to it, which I can get behind because I'm a sucker for good marketing, but I think that's all it has going for it. Should I just grab a bunch of cups so I don't have to keep washing? Yeah, I'm gonna grab. I have like 32 of these. Be right back. I have my cups. Boop. Now that that's out of the way, let us crack into this Natty Lite and let's give it a sniff. Why does it smell like a doctor's office? I didn't even put it to my nose yet, but that whiff, it permeated my nostrils and it smells clean, but medically clean. Ugh. You know how they say the olfactory senses are like the best thing to trigger memories if you have memory loss? That just unlocked a bunch of bad memories that I had from college that I didn't want to think about. That's fun. You don't get to be poured respectfully. I don't respect you. Minus that terrible head, which was intentional. It looks like champagne. Like, that's what the color of it reminds me of. Again, we're gonna try to make this a little bit educational at least. So, Natty Lite was launched in 1977 by Anheuser-Busch, which, as this video progresses, you're gonna learn Anheuser-Busch owns a lot of beer brands. We only have the illusion of choice. So, besides them being owned by Anheuser-Busch and getting created to become their lighter, lower-calorie alternative to their traditional lagers, it became iconic in the early 2010s, because remember when they ran that promotional sale for the 100 case of beer? Wild. Cheers. Ooh. Natty Light is the LaCroix of beer. It is if you took sparkling water and opened another beer next to it or near it in the same room and just let it marinate for a little bit. And on a real note, like, not being funny at all, it has like a slight bitterness to it when you drink it. It is not a good beer. It is a college beer. I'll give it that. It knows its demographic and it stays in its lane, but I'm gonna have to give that an F. Any college kids of legal drinking age that are watching this video, scrap up an extra few dollars and get a better beer. Next up, you. What did I do with my hand? You make me mad. Next up, we have Michelob Ultra, which if you couldn't guessed it from before, or the title card prior to this, it's owned by Anheuser-Busch. But what surprised me when I was looking up these beers for this episode was that Michelob Ultra it came out in 2002. My sister was born in 2002. Honestly, on the grand scheme of things, that's insane, especially because of how long Anheuser-Busch has been around. The fact that Michelob Ultra came out in 2002 just kind of blows my mind. I'm sorry for nerding out about that for a hot sec, but that's wild. But it kind of makes sense when you think about the early 2000s in America. If you're not aware, in the early 2000s, a lot of America was like obsessed with looking as sickly thin as possible. And also the growing demand for low-calorie, active, lifestyle-focused beers. What? Fun fact, I was a marketing major, and you're never selling a product. You're selling the feeling that you want this product to encapsulate, if that makes sense. So why is a beer company focusing on an active lifestyle? When I think of a beer, I think of not active lifestyles, which, to be completely honest, on the grand scale of things, I do enjoy a good Mickey Ultra. So let me stop yapping. Let's crack this baby open, get a sniffer. Let's give this a respectful pour. Ooh, beautiful. And let's look at this color. Slightly different than the Natty Light color, not gonna lie. Like, Natty Light was a little bit lighter than this, but that's not really saying much. But overall, it is a nice crispy gold glass of beer. All right, cheers. Okay, it's been a while since I've had a Michelob Ultra, because let's put this out there, my go-to beer at a bar is gonna be either a Guinness or a Corona, to be completely honest. But this, surprisingly nice. Yes, okay, that's what I thought. Weird description I'm about to give. But on the back end of it, it has like a sweetness, but not like a sugar sweet, like a candy sweet. It just has a nice sweet finish to it, which I'm kind of enjoying. Also, side note, the bubbles in this are smaller than the bubbles in Natty Light, if that makes sense to anyone out there. I do enjoy this, and we are tier listing American beers. So if the Blue Moon was an S, I'm gonna give Michelob Ultra a very respectful B tier. That's valid. It's just better than the previous beer that I drank that happened to be a natural light. You can't do worse than a natural light. Next up we have Busch Light, baby. Fun fact about me, I don't think I've ever had a Busch Light in my life. So this is going to truly be a blind first tasting, which I'm excited for because even though I'm talking crap about American beers, I want to be proven wrong. The only thing I know about Busch Light or the Busch brand comes from the commercials that they have. But the one commonality between all the Busch commercials is that they always take place outside and or woodsy area. So to transition into our little history lesson and piggybacking off of what I noticed from their commercials, Busch was introduced in 1955 by, can you guess it by the name or just the general theme of what I've been saying? Anheuser-Busch. So yes, another Anheuser-Busch product.
Introduced in 1955 by Anheuser-Busch as the company's first new brand after Prohibition.
That's actually pretty cool. I did not know that prior to reading this.
Designed as a value-priced, approachable lager, it became especially popular in rural areas among outdoor enthusiasts due to the extensive marketing around activities like hunting and fishing. Its clean, mild taste helped cement it as one of the most recognizable beers in America.
Too bad I've never drank it before. But yeah, so apparently it just happened to get big within the outdoorsy community, and then they turned that into their marketing. So, I told you, I have like a billion of these cups. Without further ado, let's crack open our first Busch and give it a sniff. That smells like, if you were to ask, this is gonna be weird. If you were to ask me what I felt like beer smelt like, this is what I would try to describe. Also, before I drink this, I do know that Busch has like a lot of cool other either flavors or like versions of it, but we're sticking with all the classics. Obviously, like there's Bud Light Lime, Bud Light Orange. Anyway, let's pour our first Busch Light. I don't know if they make a Busch. Looking at the color, it is definitely darker than the other two that we had, which is interesting to me because it's all the same. Oh, I don't like that at all. It smells metallic. That's kind of gross. Wait, it's very, no, that's kind of wild how that smells like scratching metal. Let's take our first sip knowing that it smells like metal. L'chaim. And it tastes... I know this is a very fitting trope for American beer, but that genuinely tastes like nothing. You could blindfold me and give me this and a cup of seltzer and tell me to drink both, and I would probably say the seltzer was the beer. Like, it's better than Natty, I'll say that. With that being said, if I ranked Natural Light at an F, and it gave me more flavor than this beautiful can of Busch Light, Busch Light is also gonna be put in the F tier. Next up, straight from the Rockies, we have everybody's favorite color-changing beer, Coors Light. Which, if you didn't know, Coors Light launched in 1978 as the lighter version of the original Coors Banquet beer, and soon became known for its cold-themed branding and iconic can where the mountains turn blue when your beer reaches the perfect frosty temperature. It's very nice to see that they're still implementing that in the cans and everything, because it's an easy way for them to cut costs and not use expensive temperature changing ink. But I like that they stuck to it. I also know that Coors Light is brewed from the Rockies or something like that. Like, that was the meta growing up, that Coors Light is brewed with Rocky Mountain water. I don't know if that's still true, but little fun tidbit if it is still being brewed with the iconic Rocky Mountain water. So let's crack this boy open and give it a little sniff first. Pour this up, labels out. Look at the color. Cheers. For some reason, not as good in the glass than it is out of a can or a bottle. I know there's a science to that, but I don't really care enough to get into that. It's good. It's kind of like how I remembered, but I didn't remember it having that bitter in quotes, because it's not like bitter, but you get a little bitterness on the back end to it. That was very similar to the one of Natty, but this still has more of a body to it, which is weird to say about a Coors Light, but it's kind of respectful. I kind of respect it. I don't know. Let me try the... Hold on. Yeah, that one's good. If I gave the Michelob Ultra a B tier, then I'm giving Coors Light a C for Coors Light, because Michelob Ultra so far is the only one that has like a flavor to it besides beer. Like I said, it has a sweet aftertaste to it, but the Coors Light, it's kind of weird. It tastes bitter. I don't like that. I'm confident with putting Coors Light at a C tier. If you're mad at me, you probably voted for Trump. Next up we have Miller Lite. Miller Lite was introduced in 1975 by the Miller Brewing Company, which acquired their recipe for a lighter beer from a biochemist, which was then marketed later as the first major light beer in America, which honestly I thought was Bud Light. So good on you, Miller, for being the first. Let's crack this baby open. Give it a little sniff first. I don't know why it smells like makeup to me. I don't have a history with Miller. I don't really drink it if it's on a menu. I don't order it, whatever. I just know that this one's kind of iconic. And the color is very different than the others. Oh my God, do you see that? And if it's more amber, I'm gonna assume that I'm gonna get like a more caramely flavor to the beer. Cheers, Miller Lite. All these back-end flavors are wild. Originally, off the first rip of the beer. Very nice. There is flavor. The bubbles are nice. There's not too much carbonation. There's not too little carbonation. But on the back end, it's that nice, sweet, ambery flavor that I thought I was gonna get from it. Oh, what to do? Oh, what to do? I didn't think I was gonna like you, but I like you. It's always coming back to the Michelob Ultra. I need to taste it again. You're the standard, bro. Okay, I've come to my decision. The color of it was darker, so I expected a darker flavor, or deeper flavor, not darker flavor. It gave me that. I also like that it gave a little bit more of that like caramely sweet finish on the back end to it. I might have to give this one an A, because it was better than the Michelob Ultra. It was slightly better. You know what? I'm going to put it in between an A and a B tier because it is slightly better than the Michelob Ultra, but I don't think it's deserving of an A and being that close to my beautiful Blue Moon. I said what I said. Respect. A, B tier. I don't know how many drinks that equated to. I'm kind of feeling it. Next up we have Bud Light, and honestly, I think Bud Light is the most iconic American beer there is, because every time I'm watching sports or a game show or something, Bud Light is always there. Introduced in 1982 by Anheuser-Busch again, which makes it younger than every single beer that we've tried besides Michelob Ultra. And that's saying a lot. You're the youngest beer out of all of these brands, and this is directly what people think of when you say American beer. So let's crack it open, give it a sniff. That's iconic. It does have a good color to it too. Not as dark as what do we have? Not as dark as the Miller Lite. The Miller Lite was very amber. I'm so surprised at that color. But Bud Light smells like cheap bars and a good night out. So, cheers. Whoa. I mean, I don't analyze all the food I eat and the drinks I have outside of making videos. I just love to enjoy the moment. But for the first time, sitting down to actually taste a Bud Light and talk about it, that kind of impressed me. I'm not gonna lie. Whoa, wow. I don't think it's that bad. That's kind of crazy to me. Okay, Post Malone. I kind of get it. I kind of understand it. That is what I would want in a lager. It's light, it has flavor. The only thing I don't like is that it is a little flat compared to the other beers. These bubbles aren't as crisp. Let me go again. Yeah, wow. Okay, the only thing is that Bud Light is a little flat. But other than that, I might have to reconsider a lot of life choices because of this. Wow. It's not getting an S tier. God, no, it's not getting an S tier. But I do think I'll confidently give Bud Light an A tier. I don't think it's that bad. Wow. It's the only beer that I finished because I liked it, besides the Blue Moon, because Blue Moon is mwah, chef's kiss, God's gift to this earth. Wait, I know, I'm gonna give it an A tier. I'm gonna give Bud Light an A tier. Anheuser-Busch, if you want to sponsor my next video and I'll try every version of a Bud Light or a Budweiser that you got, please hit me up. That would be a pleasure. I don't like how much I like this, but yes, we're stamping it in A tier. Good job. And last but not least, we have America's oldest brewery, Yuengling. And to be honest, I'm a huge fan of Yuengling, but I will treat this like I did every other beer and rate it honestly. And for all you lovely people out there, little story about me is I dated a girl in high school whose father's favorite beer was Yuengling, and that's how I found out it was an American beer. So for our little history lesson, Yuengling was actually founded in 1829, which is insane. And wait for it, the best fun fact of the night is not owned by Anheuser-Busch. It's still owned by the original Yuengling family, and the only reason why the Yuengling company survived nearly 2 centuries was because during the Prohibition they transitioned from a beer company to their ice cream company, so that when Prohibition ended, they were able to transition back to brewing with money that they got as an ice cream company. I don't know where I'm getting at this. Holy shit, this video. This video is so fun. I don't know how I'm gonna get this in the edit, but I need to make it. So, with that being said, let's crack open a can of America's oldest brewed beer. Whoa, that color is different than the rest. Look at that color. Woo! That's way darker than the Miller Lite, but the Miller Lite was an amber-ish color. Wait, I'm like so mesmerized by this. Let's give it a try. I have had Yuengling in the past. I haven't had it recently enough to like know what I'm getting into, but I do know that that Yuengling also makes a Yuengling Black, and they're the brewery behind Flight, I think, which is their newest beer. Let's give this a sniff. It smells like pennies. So I'm gonna say cheers and drink the Yuengling. If there is any other beer on this list that's deserving of an S tier, I'm gonna have to give it up to Yuengling. That is a beautiful, delicious, full-bodied American lager that doesn't look like piss. In my mind, Germany is the powerhouse of beer, and I feel like if you were to give a Yuengling to a German, they would say that it was a good beer. So because of that, I'm giving the second S tier of the video to the last beer in the video, Yuengling. These two are the best American beers that I've tried out of the 8 most popular American beers there are. If you were watching this as a foreigner, a tourist, or somebody that's thinking about trying American beers or getting more into American culture, these two are proper representations of American beer. Now, if you want to taste around and truly see what America has to offer and the differences in American beers, I would say start with a Blue Moon, go to a Miller Lite. You need to try this one just to know what bad American beer tastes like, and taste this one to finish off to know that lagers do not mean no flavor. Take that information as you will. So if you liked watching this video as much as I liked filming it, please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It helps me out more than you know. And if you have a suggestion for what you want to see me tier list next, please let me know in the comments. I always read every single comment and try my best to reply to you guys, because without you, I wouldn't be here. Anyway, thank you.